Good morning, everybody. Doing a really quick update for you guys. Won't be with you here this morning, but today is going to be a big day. We have a couple of areas that I talked about yesterday that could be potential retest levels. We're approaching those now. That's 550 or 567 rather. And this is something we can move down into a lower time frame. So I have a couple of thoughts here. One, if you go down to the hourly, we're almost at that floor or a floor. But you can see these pockets of empty space, especially as you move down into the lower time frame. The 15-minute kind of reveals where this play could potentially take off based on where price is at this morning. I would be looking overhead, right? And it's going to be right here at that 567.38 level. If you can break up above that, of course, you can't disregard the candle right there, but you do have empty space and a range basically could lead you all the way back up, right? And this could be something we come back later. But one thing I wanted to talk about today is the potential speculative short that could be taken around this area. Now, that would be in reference to the empty space that we created here and trying to short that down. Now there's a gap fill, so this could be a big play, right? There is potential, low risk, high reward. You could be looking at a complete meltdown, especially if you have, maybe 2 or 3 days, or you're somebody who can afford to play even further out into the 545s. You could speculate on that. Now, part of doing that is having a great stop loss and knowing where things break down. For me, that's going to be obviously dropping underneath 565.50 and then losing that 564.64 floor. Now, every single level matters, and we can't disregard those things. So step by step, right? But there's empty space in between each one of these, say for these that are stacked on top of one another. But if those fail, right, even if you decided to take the short up here, or if it came back down, the target, or I think the higher probability target here would be right around 558. So you could look for a play to the downside today. Um, you know, I think again in this area you have to recognize that this is going to be partly speculation, but we have some dynamics within this lower time frame channel as well. So if it breaks up and it makes its way outside of 567.35, have your way with it, and look towards the upside into that empty space. But because we had a massive breakdown, and it is something that we could see, a wick up here and then maybe even going red tomorrow rather than today. So again, speculation. Moving on to SPY. This one has obviously they're all a little bit similarly set up. But the green candle over here is at 535.50. Right now, you move down to the 4 hour, and that's going to shimmy on down right here to 534.25, and that's what I would suspect we're going to retest today. And again, same situation, same thought process. Now you move down here to the hourly, and now you can see that we are directly up against a floor. So one, in the same manner as the Qs, could look for where this breaks down, right? And obviously there's a floor at 530 or 631.63, and that could get the party started. I like Qs a little bit better than SPY, but obviously because we are on a floor, or we have a floor, the first target up above 633.45. And again, this is not really much. Well, look at that. Actually, the 15-minute kind of shows you it's a bit of a box or more of a range. So again, same setup, basically over 634.90, 635. You could look for that empty space up. But yeah, there today I have it in the back of my mind that there is the potential to take a little bit of a rejection trade, if anything. Now IWM, this might actually have us looking at the other side of things, but this one has a lot more room up to 222.50 today. And that's, leaning on the fact that we have recovered our nearest floor. Um, looking up, oop, looking up, right? We have a floor right there at 223.30. So both of those could be levels to go and retest. This one, it does have empty space on the hourly. So if it's something that you decide you want to get into, 219.87 lost, could definitely get the ball rolling in the right direction. I think that would inevitably lead you down to the 218.77 level. And again, there's definitely a room to speculate. Yesterday, I mentioned how there could be a channel here at play, and that's still, in the cards as well. You are to your left working with this. So again, if you lose that floor, there's a good chance of us possibly going down. On the other side of that, obviously, if you can punch up, there's empty space in here, and that would give us that 223 target that I referred to earlier. For today, I believe on the Forex Factory, we have ISM services. Trump has already spoken here this morning. That's at 10 a.m. So if we don't see any new highs or new lows, we could see something similar to what we saw yesterday. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at today. Obviously, going to be on the road here. Try to get back as soon as I can. But you guys have a wonderful trading day. Use good risk again. 24-hour setups with good clear 24-hour setups with solid risk to reward on those contracts. That's what we're looking for. That's how we make money. And if that does not adhere to, or if what you're seeing in front of you doesn't adhere to what you are trying to accomplish, then sit on your hands. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace.